Hello, hello. Welcome to my space. I hope you are doing well. So this will be a little bit different. Here's the context, right? When I get a new deck, especially an oracle deck, right? And there is a book inside of it, so I like to read, right? Regarding the cards. It doesn't mean that I will apply whatever is said about each card, but I like to read, you know? So anyway, regarding this deck, I was reading, you know, and then I said, you know what? I will sit on my table and I will take a few cards, you know, and then I will read. And so I'm taking the cards, and the cards that are coming out are so, you know, who needs to read them even, right? Because the cards that came out, we have love, we have addiction, and then we have player. This is what I took in the beginning, right? Love, addiction, and player. So I said, listen, love, I have nothing to read truly. I could read, you know, I opened and I read a little bit. Okay, we know love, right? Addiction, kind of the same thing, right? And then there's the player. So I said, okay, let's get deep into the player, right? Because I wanted to learn. I wanted to learn. So anyway, I will read to you what is written about the player, right? And afterwards I took other cards, right? But, so, the player. If you can spot the sucker at the table, declares the player, it's you, and they would know, because nobody on either side of the veil reads the room and human weakness quite like the player can. This is a fast and sweet talker who will give you the spiel, then teach you how quickly fools are parted from their money or reason. These big or little operators are drawn to the action, a place where cash, yours, floats on the breeze, the crossroads to sell their soul to bankroll their next game, or the dealership to trade in their moral compass for a Cadillac. The player's been called many things: rogue, hustler, high roller, gambler, sinner, and saint, due to their legendary status. I found it very interesting, right? Because I agree that a player cannot play you if they don't have the image that goes with it. I already talked about it, right? Besides, you can really cheat an honest person? Question mark. The player is also an agent of retribution, someone who teaches the foolish a valuable lesson. Might be hard to hear, but we know that there is a lesson in people that we meet, right? When this oracle validates the ancestor or an individual, odds are they had a nom de plume, a name of writing, a handle such as one-armed shorty or bless your heart Hannah. Penetrating insight and skill, passion, or addiction keep them around test of metal, including cards, billiards, the racetrack, golf, betting and gambling, or the stock market. Maybe there is a claim to infame, like playing pool with a broomstick with one arm behind their back. A lone wolf by nature, the player maintains a key advantage by not being emotionally attached to people or money. So I hear money and I react, right? But let's hear what they are saying. Make no mistake, these gamblers love money, but never play with what they call scared money. Money they're afraid to lose. Otherwise, money comes and goes, it's just a way to keep score. What will ultimately define the player's success or failure is the way they view winning and losing. The winners aren't risk takers, they're highly calculative and don't rely on Marys and good fortune. I mainly understand by that they know what they're doing, right? It's not like they are not counting on good fortune, they are counting on their ability to read the room, right? They're firmly rooted in the belief that you make your own luck. They often have a known or manipulated edge or advantage and inside information. Very interesting. They also know and work on their abilities, and they genuinely like and trust themselves. In the context of your reading is romantic and you draw this card, you'll need to be careful of the seduction of the player. They travel lightly with a bag of well-practiced tricks. I'm reading that because we started with love here, right? The player listens to every word you say, your tone and inflections, and reads your tells, those facial and body language expressions that reveal insecurities and self-doubt. A master at cold reading. The player will spot the bluff. Should you try too hard, overcompensate, or reveal weakness and a lack of boundaries, you'll become chum bait for this shark. I talked to you about that, right? I told you that those people, they are testing you. They are looking if you are a people pleaser, if you are afraid of conflict. They are testing all those kind of things, right? Because some people say, why am I always meeting those kind of people? It's not that you are always meeting those kind of people. It's not that those people are especially attracted to you. They might be attracted to you because they might think that because of your cup's energy, because you are somebody emotional, they think that you are an easy prey, right? But at the end of the day, they will test you. This is the thing. And if you are unhealed empath that haven't healed yet or understood how to preserve their empathy, who to give it to and who not to give it to, then you fall in their traps, right? I kind of feel that the most common things that they are looking for, it is the people-pleasing qualities, and if you are afraid of conflict, and if you will do everything in order not to create some kind of discomfort. Also, what I kind of feel that they are testing, it is silence. How you are reacting to silence. Will you try to fill the blanks? Because if you are, in those moments, because in fact you are acting from a place of discomfort, you might reveal things that you don't want to reveal, right? So, the beloved of player says that this may not be an ideal time to relieve your cards. Maintain an advantage by keeping them close to your chest, and if someone's telling you that it's raining, go to the window, open the blinds, and look outside for yourself, right? So anyway, I found it especially interesting because of the reading that I just did, right? That was kind of guiding you how to re-social again, right? After embodying your healed version, right? Because you will be tested not because the universe is testing you, but because this is life, right? You were one person acting from the place of your unhealed self, maybe being the people pleaser, not knowing how to say no, not knowing how to respect your own boundaries, even not knowing how to put up boundaries, right? And then if you want to open your circle a little bit, it's good to be aware of all those things and know that yes, it will be a challenge. The first time that you need to say no, right? It will be a challenge. People trying to bait you, right? And you know, we embody roles very often, very, very young, and we know how to operate on those roles. And when suddenly we have to embody totally our healed self, so the way we are speaking is different, the way that we are reacting is different, but the automatic can still be here, right? So anyway, we had love addiction player, right? It kind of is self-explanatory. You might have met someone, right? With the addiction here, we are talking about someone who might be dealing with addiction, but also it might be somebody who is obsessive. For example, when I see the addiction, I'm thinking about the devil's card, right? So we are talking about someone who might be trauma bonding with you. It might be someone who is love bombing you. who might be obsessive, right? So I see the stalker, all those kind of things, right? The controlling person, the person that wants you stuck, right? And then we have this player here. I read to you what it was. And then I said, okay, listen, I need more here, right? So the justice card came out. I love it, right? Because this is kind of telling that there is here something that is coming up about those kind of people being maybe, I want to say, losing their charm, right? I kind of feel that in this cycle that first of all we are as the collective, the elevated collective, the healing collective, the collective that is aware of ourselves and of others now, right? We know about those people. We understand that not everybody is operating from the same level as we are, from our higher self, truly trying our best, questioning ourselves, not just acting without awareness, right? We are analyzing our thoughts. We are not just believing what we are believing, we are questioning ourselves, right? This is the path to healing, to awareness, to change, transformation, the death card, right? All those kind of things. So I love to see the justice here because it kind of tells me, yeah, people are starting to be more aware now, right? And with awareness, all those people, right, the players, their game doesn't work, right? So which I kind of find interesting, it is that in this story that happened to a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us, that we had a whole community, a whole group attacking us, right? I talked about the fact that the truth is coming out in layers, which is kind of interesting because with those layers, it is also creating slow movements in the group, right? Because in the beginning, one information can come out and people might not listen to it. And then there's another information. And so it creates another movement in the group, right? And at the end of the day, there will be people who will hold on to the narrative made of lies, manipulation, all those kind of things, and others that will be able to gain some kind of awareness that at the end of the day, awareness is not easy when you realize that you cannot believe in your thoughts, that your thoughts is a construction by itself, but you can change this construction because it is an illusion, especially if you have no awareness, right? So you have just absorbed all kind of things without ever decluttering your thoughts, right? So it is a difficult part. It is facing a mirror that is not so easy to face. But at the end of the day, this is what is taking you out of your mental prison. This is what is saving you at the end of the day, right? Because then you truly are in control of your life, of your feelings, of your emotions, of yourself, right? It changes everything. But I'm thinking about le mythe de la caverne, the myth of the cavern from Plato. I already talked about it in a reading that I did long time ago. If you don't know what it is people that were living in a cavern and there was just a fire, so the only thing that they saw, it was the shadows of themselves, in fact, right, through the fire. So they were very afraid to even leave the cavern, and so one person left the cavern. So in the beginning, being all the time in this darkness, getting into the light, it was very painful to their eyes, right? And so the legend continues, right? Because then after this person is telling them it's safe, we can go outside, he's going back in the cavern to say to others, it's safe, we can go outside. And most people, they don't want to go outside, right? But the thing that why I was thinking about it, it is seeing the light, suddenly it hurts, right? Think about you. You are in a dark room. Suddenly somebody opens the light. You cannot even see, right? Because of the light suddenly, and it might hurt your eyes. So this is a little bit what happens when you get awakened to all of that, right? So some people will never accept the to embrace this truth, right? Because there is also a sense of responsibility here, right? So anyway, with this justice here, I kind of feel that we have a lot of people here that are awakening to the player, and so the player is losing their ability to play people, because once you see the manipulation, it's over. The manipulation doesn't work anymore, right? So anyway, I found it very, very interesting. I will take a few cards. So then I don't know why. I was tempted to take another card. And the card that came out, it is the King of Cups, right? So with the King of Cups, we are talking about wisdom, awareness, self-awareness, emotional intelligence, all those kind of things, right? So this is truly the justice that is coming here. It is people that are gaining now this awareness, and this is where also I kind of feel that a lot of people that has been totally put to the side, I cannot find a word now, you have been rejected by your group, your family, your community, all of that, right? Now people might want to approach you because you are more elevated in this mastery of life, right? Because you have gone through it. You have gone through it, right? So anyway, I will take a few more cards. Wait, because things are falling here. Don't fall. Okay, I will take a few more cards here about all of this. Because there might also be some kind of other message, right? Even about ourselves, how we might have been addicted to love, maybe because we were thirsty of love, right? I don't think that I'm talking to everyone here when I'm saying that, right? Because I am thinking about some people in the comments. I start to truly know you, your story, all of those things, right? So I feel your energy. So I know that it won't talk to everybody because not everybody was thirsty of love. When you have a very, very loving parent or very loving parents, a safe place that you are growing up into, it's a very different story, right? So maybe you are not this thirsty of love, but when you didn't get what you needed, you don't have this feeling of safety, right? Love can be a little bit of something that we crave, right? Anyway, let's see. Let's get a little bit more information from the cards. Tell me about the love. Yeah, the heartbreak. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, so listen, it kind of feels here that I'm talking to someone who has been very much betrayed in love, right? So much so that you might have totally lost trust in love. This is what I feel here, right? That you prefer not to engage in anything anymore because it wasn't pleasant what happened to you, and so it might have disgusted you, right? Which at the end of the day, right? I don't tell you that you need to stop dating, right? Just to be clear, I'm not telling you what to do. But it's important to realize also that we might be in this mindset of I don't want love anymore, I don't want to date anymore, right? And it is coming from a protective place, right? A defensive mechanism. Because at the end of the day, we could also date and with our new self, right? And create the relationship only be in a relationship that is in alignment with us. And we also need to decide to date, but being in the mindset, I don't want to date. And I kind of feel that at some period it's important. If you are unhealed and if you are in a healing process, I kind of feel that it's important to be able to say, it's like people who are doing the 12 steps of sobriety, right? They are advised not to date the first year, right? Because they need to concentrate on their self, their self-love, invest truly in their healing, right? So I kind of think that it's totally legitimate, and I think that many people should stop dating, right? Not especially talking about the collective, but other people, they should stop dating, right? Sit with themselves a little bit and do the work. But okay, so just we might simply consider that the fact that we are saying it's a no, this comes from a defensive place, because otherwise we can be very neutral about it. It's not a yes, it's not a no. We'll see what life presents me, and why not? If it's truly something, that totally is a glove to my hand, right? Then why not? It might be beautiful. So, tell me here about the addiction. Somebody's hiding some kind of addiction here, right? The Hermit in reverse. So listen, we might be talking about the person that truly, truly hurt you in the past, right? That maybe has, the word that comes to me, it's compromise, but I don't think that is the right word. I wanted to say compromise your love life. Maybe put a stop in your love life, because you don't want to have love in your life anymore because of that, right? They might have been hiding a lot of things. The Hermit is in reverse, right? So yeah, they might have been hiding a lot of things, maybe for a lot of time. Some people know how to maintain their mask for very, very long. We have the Three of Wands here that came out this way. So I kind of feel here, it takes me back to the Chariot in reverse, right? I kind of feel a loss of hope. Like with this Three of Wands here that came out like that, I kind of feel that you might say to yourself, I already invested in that. I saw where it led me, right? So I'm not interested in that anymore, right? And I kind of feel that truly here, the whole thing, it is to be neutral about it, to be neutral, right? If you ask me, I personally, I don't believe in the whole dating thing. I think that it was relevant when we were getting married, it was arranged marriages. Then the dating was relevant. Or if, for example, somebody is a certain age and they want to be parent and they want to get married, so maybe, okay, so they are actively trying to find something. But if you are about love, truly love, the elevated love, I kind of feel that it meets you in your life, the dating is, there is something very practical in the dating. And I'm not saying that every relationship should be based on true love, but I kind of feel that if you are at the stage now that it's the Chariot in reverse, right? So dating is not for you. It will meet you in your life. It will meet you in your life, right? And as said, or it will fit like a glove, or it won't. Simple, right? Okay. Tell me here the player. Listen, this is telling me you already dealt with the player. You know the player. You know the player, right? You already healed from a player. So, if it ever presents itself to you, You won't even try to discuss with this person. You won't fight with this person. You won't compete with this person. You won't try to make them understand what's going on. If they are starting to, show the red flags, the card was in reverse, you will just move on. You will move on. The story is not repeating itself. It's not. Right? Because you won't try to convince them. You don't. You might even be aware that hurting their ego in some kind of way might not be the best idea because they might attack you. But even if they will attack you, right? The community already fell into the lies. They already know the truth, right? So anyway, even if now some kind of narcissist is trying to attack you in some kind of way because they didn't succeed to do of you whatever, but I kind of feel truly, I said those people, right, they are testing you. They are testing you, and if they see that you are not a people pleaser, that you are not afraid of confrontation, you are not afraid to say no, that you are not feeling the silence, that you are not filling the blanks behind what is not said, right? That you are not projecting yourself. Trust and believe those people, they will leave. They will leave, right? Because it's too difficult. And they don't want you, they don't want to be exposed, right? So they will be afraid of you and they will leave, right? Okay, I want to see here the justice. Let's see the justice. Why did the justice came up? The emperor, listen. You are in total control now, right? There is a stability that you gained, right? After dealing maybe with this kind of situation. And it might have been a love story, but we might be talking about your family, for example, or a friend, right? It doesn't matter. You dealt with a player, someone who wanted to be in control, that had a hidden agenda, that was only seeing themselves, totally disconnected from their heart space, and knowing how to present a perfect mask, right? This is what you dealt with. The emperor. This is the justice. Nobody can play you anymore. Nobody can play you anymore. You won't carry anybody's burdens. You won't. You won't do what you did in the past. Listen, judgment. You will be very, very quick to put a judgment when you see that you are dealing here with a smooth talker. The second that you will see that you are dealing with a smooth talker, you won't lose a second. You won't lose a second, right? I kind of feel that at the end of the day, this reading here is first of all about talking once again about those manipulators and how they operate. If you have already been here, we talked about it. But if you are kind of new here, hi, welcome. You might not have heard all of those things, right? So I hope that what I tell you about how they are testing you, right, will help you truly, right? Because this is the intention. It is for me to help you to feel stronger in your life, right? Because after going through very, very traumatic things, we might truly be afraid, which is totally legitimate. I kind of feel that the more that awareness you have, right, the more you know how to see the signs, the more you know how to respect yourself, the stronger you feel, right? It doesn't mean that the fear is not there anymore, right? We are not supposed to not be fearful at all. The fear is a very normal and important feeling, right? Very important feeling. So it's not about not being fearful anymore, but it is about having tools helping you to deal with it, right? To not just be so fearful that you are not doing anything anymore in your life, right? Because at the end of the day, if it's the case, then the player has won, right? It's not what we want, right? Yeah, this is your victory. This is your victory, right? Yeah, okay. Let's see, let's get to closure here. Let's get to closure. I didn't even check if you could see all the cards. It's a little bit late now, and I also didn't do my intro. Doesn't matter. Closure, please. I have to see. Okay, I saw. Listen. It's all here, right? You are the person of authority. This is what changes everything, right? Those cards came out, it doesn't matter, right? The Hierophant, right? You are the person in authority, okay? You don't let anyone decide over you. You don't let yourself be confused by what other people are saying, right? Remember that you have a life experience and an understanding that other people might not have. So it's like asking to the blind what color is in front of you, right? It doesn't work, right? So this is the closure of this cycle of the past, right? That you are in authority. So let's be honest, right? When I realized that when we are talking about feelings, emotional, soul path, all those kind of things, I have no one to ask, right? On many other things, I have a lot to ask, right? If we are talking about accountability, no, not accountability. How do we say business, money? I don't know. There are many areas where I could ask for advice, right? But for everything related to my life choices, my emotions, all those kind of things, I understood that I have nobody to ask, right? Which feels lonely. It feels lonely, right? Because we would like to be able to ask. But you know, when you have gone through this mastery of life, people will come to you and they can ask you. Chances are that the only person with who you can kind of discuss those matters, it is with your higher self, with the highest, with your ancestors, with your guides. Those are the people with who you can truly ask questions. But most people in your environment, chances are that as said, you won't ask to the blind what is the color in front of you, right? So anyway, and it doesn't mean that you might not find people that can help you somehow to see things from a different perspective, for example, that will bring you food for thought, right? But at the end of the day, this is the thing. The moment that you take back your power, you know that you are in authority. You are the teacher, right? With the Hierophant, you are the teacher. This is what this card is saying, right? So anyway, listen, I will leave it here. I hope that it was interesting. I know that it was a little bit different. Yeah, I'll see you in the comments. I wish you a beautiful day, afternoon, evening, whenever you are watching this. Until very, very soon. Bye.